Have you ever stood in your kitchen, holding a loaf of bread in your hands and quietly wondered, can I still eat this? For so many seniors, especially those managing diabetes, bread has become a source of doubt, even fear. Something that once brought comfort now carries a weight of uncertainty. We've been told time and again, avoid carbs. Bread is bad. Sweet breads are worse. And so we step away from something we love, believing it's the only way to stay healthy. But what if that story isn't the full truth? What if there are sweet, familiar, everyday breads? Yes, breads you can find in any American grocery store that actually support your blood sugar rather than spike it. What if the right slice could become a source of healing, not harm? In this comprehensive guide, we're going to explore 5 surprisingly sweet and common breads that are not only safe for seniors with diabetes, but powerfully supportive of stable blood sugar, better digestion, and sustained energy. We'll also uncover which popular breads to approach with caution, even if they look innocent on the shelf. This isn't just about bread. It's about reclaiming joy, tradition, and trust in your food. Ready to take the first bite? Let's begin. 1. Sprouted grain bread, ancient wisdom, modern power. There's a quiet kind of wisdom in sprouted grain bread, one that speaks to the body as it ages and to the soul that still remembers. At first glance, this bread might seem dense, unfamiliar, even rugged compared to the soft white slices many of us grew up with. But behind its earthy texture is something rare these days. Food that respects you back. Sprouted grain bread is made not from refined flour, but from whole grains that have been allowed to sprout, or begin to grow, before being ground and baked. That one small change, allowing the grain to come to life, unlocks a remarkable transformation. It reduces the bread's glycemic index, meaning it won't cause your blood sugar to spike the way regular bread does. It also boosts the nutritional value of the grains, increasing the availability of key vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that your body actually absorbs and uses. For seniors managing diabetes, this is more than a dietary benefit. It's a shift towards something healing. When we age, our bodies become more sensitive, more selective. Digestion slows. Blood sugar responses change. And we can't get away with food the way we used to. Sprouted bread steps in not as a compromise but as a support. It's higher in fiber and protein, which help regulate blood sugar and keep you fuller longer. That means fewer cravings, fewer crashes, and more stable energy throughout the day. No sudden fatigue after breakfast, no mental fog by late morning. Just the steady strength your body was asking for all along. What's even more comforting is how familiar this bread can become. Toast it until crisp and top it with almond butter and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Layer it with avocado and a pinch of sea salt. Or enjoy it warm with a poached egg for breakfast. These are not sacrifices, they are rituals of care. And over time, they help rebuild your relationship with food, replacing fear with confidence. Many older adults tell me that switching to sprouted grain bread gave them back something they didn't know they'd lost. The ability to enjoy bread again without guilt, to eat with both nourishment and nostalgia, to make breakfast something to look forward to, not something to dread or avoid. 2. Oat bread, gentle sweetness from the earth. There's a kind of quiet dignity in oat bread. A humble slice that doesn't shout for attention, but delivers so much when you take the time to understand it. For seniors navigating life with diabetes, oat bread offers not just nourishment, but a sense of calm in a world full of confusing food choices. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, but it is, without question, one of the most comforting and supportive foods you can bring back into your daily life. Oats have long been a staple in American kitchens. Warm bowls on chilly mornings, oatmeal cookies in lunchboxes, and jars of rolled oats tucked into pantry corners. But when oats are baked into bread, especially when combined with whole grains and a touch of natural sweetness like molasses or raw honey, they create something truly special. A bread that soothes the body while gently stabilizing blood sugar. Unlike breads made with refined white flour, oat bread is rich in beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that slows digestion and helps regulate blood glucose. For older adults whose insulin sensitivity has decreased with age, this is more than helpful. It's essential. The slow release of carbohydrates into the bloodstream means no sharp spikes, no sudden crashes. Instead, there's a steady, sustained energy that helps you move through the day with clarity and strength. But there's more to oat bread than just fiber. It's full of natural nutrients, magnesium, iron, B vitamins that support heart health, brain function, and metabolism. And because oats are naturally gluten-free, many seniors with sensitive digestion find oat-based breads easier on their stomachs, leading to less bloating, less discomfort, and more satisfaction after meals. It's a way of eating that feels right, not just for your blood sugar, but for your overall well-being. The emotional comfort of oat bread is real too. Its soft crumb and subtle sweetness recall simpler times. Toast it in the morning and spread a little almond butter and cinnamon on top. What you get isn't just a healthy snack, but a small act of self-care. Or enjoy a slice alongside a cup of soup in the afternoon. It warms you, grounds you, and reminds you that health isn't about restriction. It's about making smarter choices with familiar foods. Many seniors are surprised by how quickly oat bread becomes a trusted part of their day. It's a small change, yes, but one that opens the door to better digestion, more energy, and a new relationship with food rooted in trust and enjoyment. 3. Whole wheat cinnamon raisin bread. Sweet but safe. There's something deeply nostalgic about cinnamon raisin bread. It reminds many of us of crisp autumn mornings, the scent of cinnamon drifting through the house, and those quiet breakfasts with coffee and warmth. It's the kind of bread that holds memories. And for older adults, especially those managing diabetes, it's often one of the first things they think they have to give up. Sweet bread, raisins, cinnamon. It feels indulgent, risky, off-limits. But what if that familiar slice, when made with care, could actually support your blood sugar instead of hurt it? The secret lies in the ingredients, and in how you view food not as temptation, but as an opportunity for balance. Traditional cinnamon raisin breads are often made with refined flour and excess sugar. But when made with whole wheat flour, this bread transforms from a sugary trap into a slow-digesting, fiber-rich choice that works with your body. Whole grains provide the structure, while cinnamon offers something more subtle and profound, a natural aid to blood sugar control. Studies have shown that cinnamon helps improve insulin sensitivity and slow the absorption of glucose into the bloodstream. It's not just flavor, it's function. Then there are the raisins. Yes, they add natural sweetness, but also fiber and antioxidants. The key is portion and pairing. When eaten in moderation and alongside a protein or healthy fat like a small swipe of almond butter or a slice of cheddar, that once feared sweetness becomes something that feels both safe and satisfying. It reminds you that pleasure and discipline can live in the same meal. But perhaps what's most powerful about whole wheat cinnamon raisin bread is what it brings emotionally. For so many seniors, food isn't just about nutrients. It's about connection to the past, to family, to joy. When you bite into a warm slice and taste the familiar blend of spice and fruit, you're not just nourishing your body. You're reclaiming joy without regret, and that matters. It matters because diabetes doesn't have to erase tradition. It doesn't have to mean saying goodbye to everything sweet. Instead, it invites you to rediscover those comforts with new wisdom, choosing recipes that use fewer ingredients, less sugar, and more whole foods, or selecting a trusted store-bought brand that lists whole grains first and keeps sugar to a minimum. In doing so, you're not giving in. You're taking charge. 4. Banana nut bread. Reinvented for your health. Few scents warm a home like the smell of banana bread in the oven. It's a reminder of Sunday mornings, family kitchens, and simpler times when sweetness came from a bowl of overripe fruit and a mother's hand stirring gently in a worn ceramic bowl. For many older adults, banana bread is more than a treat, it's a memory. But when you're living with diabetes, it's also often one of the first things you're told to give up. Too much sugar, too many carbs, too risky. And so, like many joys, it slowly fades from the kitchen. But what if we told you that banana nut bread didn't need to be banished? just rebuilt. The truth is, with a few intentional changes, this cherished American classic can become a deeply nourishing part of your routine, supporting your blood sugar instead of disrupting it. The key is in honoring both the flavor and the function. Instead of white flour, we start with almond flour or oat flour, naturally higher in fiber and protein, which helps slow down digestion and keep glucose levels steady. Just 1 or 2 ripe bananas provide plenty of natural sweetness without needing cups of added sugar. And when paired with crushed walnuts, you're adding healthy fats, magnesium, and omega-3 that reduce inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity. It's not about making banana bread bland, it's about making it smarter. A touch of cinnamon helps stabilize blood sugar and enhances that familiar warm flavor. A pinch of sea salt brings balance. And perhaps the most important ingredient: intention. When you bake or select banana nut bread that honors your health, every bite becomes more meaningful. Many seniors find this version of banana bread to be a revelation. Not only is it easier on the body, but it brings back something many thought they'd lost: the joy of baking, the joy of sharing, the joy of belonging at the table. Served slightly warm with a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt, or a slice enjoyed with a cup of tea, it offers more than comfort. It offers confidence. You're not cheating. You're not breaking rules. You're choosing ingredients that serve your well-being while respecting your history. That's the kind of food relationship we all deserve, especially in our later years when comfort matters more than ever, but so does control. 5. Sourdough bread. The old friend with new benefits. There's something timeless about sourdough bread. Its tangy aroma, that gentle crackle when you tear into a crusty loaf, the way it pairs perfectly with a hot bowl of soup or a slice of sharp cheese. It's a bread that has quietly stood the test of time. For many older adults in America, sourdough isn't just food. It's a memory, a comfort, a familiar guest at the table through decades of change. And now, as we age and navigate new chapters of health, especially with diabetes, sourdough is making its way back into the spotlight, not just for its flavor, but for its surprising function. What sets sourdough apart isn't just the taste, it's the process. Unlike commercial breads made with fast-acting yeast and refined flour, sourdough is traditionally fermented using wild yeast and lactic acid bacteria. That long, slow fermentation does something beautiful. It breaks down much of the bread's natural starches and gluten, reducing its glycemic load and making it easier on your digestive system. That means fewer sugar spikes, less bloating, and more stable energy, something every senior managing blood sugar can appreciate. But sourdough's benefits go even deeper. During fermentation, beneficial compounds called prebiotics are formed, fibers that feed the healthy bacteria in your gut. A healthy gut isn't just about digestion. It's linked to immune health, brain clarity, even emotional balance. For seniors who may be facing challenges like sluggish digestion or medication side effects, sourdough can gently support your system without overwhelming it. The lactic acid created during fermentation also helps your body absorb minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron more effectively, nutrients many older adults are quietly lacking. And then there's the emotional comfort. There's something special about slicing into a loaf of sourdough, its chewy crumb, that slight tang. It feels honest, real. It invites you to slow down, to savor. Toast it with olive oil and cracked pepper. Use it for a turkey sandwich with avocado. Enjoy a warm slice with cottage cheese or tomato. These aren't indulgences. They're small acts of nourishment, rituals that can bring structure and meaning to your day. Many seniors are surprised to learn that sourdough, when made the traditional way and eaten in mindful portions, can be one of the most blood sugar-friendly breads available. It's not just about what you eat, but how your body responds. And with sourdough, the response is often steady, supportive, and gentle. It's a reminder that the old ways, slow, patient, thoughtful, often hold the deepest wisdom. Bread types to be mindful of. In a world where the bread aisle stretches longer than ever, rows of colorful packaging, bold health claims, and the comforting illusion of choice, it's easy to forget that not all bread is created with your well-being in mind. Especially as we age, And particularly for those managing diabetes, it becomes more important than ever to look past the labels and truly understand what we're bringing into our homes and our bodies. Some breads, though familiar and beloved, work quietly against our efforts to stay balanced and well. Take white bread, for instance. Soft, airy, and often associated with sandwiches from our youth, white bread is typically made from highly refined flour stripped of the fiber, nutrients, and natural balance that help slow sugar absorption. Without those elements, it digests quickly, leading to blood sugar spikes that leave you tired, irritable, or even dizzy. It's comforting in the moment, but it doesn't support the steady energy your body needs to thrive in your later years. Then there's light bread, those labeled low-fat or low-calorie, which may sound like healthy choices on the surface. But many of these breads make up for fewer calories with more starches, emulsifiers, or added sugars that trick the body into craving more. They may be lower in fat, but they're often higher in glycemic impact, leaving your blood sugar worse off than it was before. A slice might seem harmless, but over time, the cumulative effect can be draining, emotionally and physically. And don't overlook sweet bakery breads or flavored bagels often found in deli and grocery store bakeries. Cinnamon crunch, blueberry swirl, honey glaze, these are more pastry than bread, often packed with sugar and refined carbs. What feels like a light morning treat can actually contain as much sugar as a candy bar, with almost none of the fiber or protein that would help your body process it. Even multigrain bread isn't always what it seems. Unless the label lists whole grain or 100% whole wheat as the first ingredient, what you may be buying is a loaf colored brown with molasses or caramel coloring with very little nutritional value. It's bread dressed up to look healthy, but it offers no real support to your system. And here's the hard truth: even the breads that claim to be diabetes friendly can mislead. Marketing terms aren't always backed by regulation, and a long list of unfamiliar ingredients often means more processing, more additives, and fewer health benefits. The simpler the ingredients, the better your body understands them, and the easier it is to maintain stable energy, digestion, and blood sugar. Being mindful doesn't mean being afraid. It means being aware. It means reading labels, asking questions, and remembering that every bite you take is a choice, an opportunity to support or strain your system. And the good news? Once you know what to avoid, what's left on the table is even more empowering. Food that loves you back. A final word: bread, balance, and the life you still deserve. As we grow older, food becomes more than just sustenance. It becomes a quiet reflection of how we care for ourselves. And in the story of aging well, bread plays a deeper role than most of us realize. It's not simply about carbs or calories, it's about memory, tradition, nourishment, and the rituals that have shaped our lives across decades. For many seniors, especially those managing diabetes, bread has often been cast as the enemy, a pleasure we're told to avoid, a comfort we're asked to deny. But that narrative is incomplete. The truth is, not all bread harms us, and not all comfort is dangerous. With the right knowledge, the right choices, and a touch of curiosity, bread can once again be a source of health, joy, and even healing. The 5 breads we explored sprouted grain, oat, whole wheat, cinnamon, raisin, banana nut, and sourdough aren't exotic or unreachable. They're practical, accessible, and familiar. What makes them different is how they're made, how they work with the body, and how they honor the changes that come with age.